Everyone fears him. His name is spoken only in a whisper. Hades. Death is never far, because he is everywhere. When the gates of the underworld open, there is no return. Cerberus, the three-headed hound, shows his teeth. Charon rows in silence across the black water. Every path on the river Styx bends toward one throne, the throne of Hades. Here there is no light, only the cold breath of death and the echo of torment. Yet a question lingers in the dark. Is there a reward for you? Will you reach the bright gardens of Elysium where calm endures and the air itself feels warm? Or fall into Tartarus, a place woven of fire and chains, where rock halls shake with the weight of screams? In this realm, one law stands above all: justice. No soul escapes his judgment. His helmet hides him even from the eyes of the gods, but nothing hides from his gaze. An oath sworn on the Styx cannot be broken. Break it, and punishment follows, sure and unhurried. Questions fade, judgment remains. It is not loud, it is final. Hades kills no one. He is not the author of death, he is its keeper. He charts the path, sets the order, closes the gates. Zeus splits the sky with lightning. Poseidon stirs the seas with storms. Hades uses silence. It cuts deeper than thunder or wave. He does not shout. He does not threaten. He waits. He decides. And that is the most frightening thing, to know there is no escape, and that silence will speak last. Every soul that crosses the gate stands before the bench. 3 judges wait: Minos, Rhadamanthus, Iacchos. Their names are short. Their sentences are long. No witnesses speak. Your life is the evidence. Every act weighs something. Every motive casts a shadow. For the virtuous, Elysium opens, light, rest, and lasting reward. Most drift to asphodel, gray meadows with no joy and no pain, only hush and the slow passing of steps. The treacherous and the cruel fall to Tartarus, chains, stone, and fire. It is the pit where the fall never ends. 3 roads, 1 truth. Each soul walks to what it deserves. There is no return. The rivers offer no mercy. Acheron carries pain. Cocytus is wailing. Phlegethon burns. Lethe is forgetfulness. Drink and names fade. Memories dim, faces blur, stories end. Even reward has a price. Peace can sink into empty quiet. Here, every choice loses something. To remember hurts. To forget costs. The journey is paid in coins. A single piece, placed in the mouth of the dead, buys the pull of Charon's oar. Without it, the lost wait on the shore. Time cracks. Silence grows heavy. The wind does not move, so the living send their dead with coin. It is duty as much as love. The rule is strict. No one crosses without payment. The boat creaks with sorrow as it glides. Mist beads on the gunwales. The oar knocks a rhythm. On the far bank, judgment waits, and the water behind you does not remember your name. The kingdom seemed unshakable. Neither gods nor mortals could disturb its silence. But one day, a sound rose that had no place in shadow, a laugh among flowers beneath the sun. That sound drifted down into the underworld, and Hades heard it. His heart, cold as iron, remembered its beat. A name carried the sound: Persephone. Innocence became a target. The earth split, the sky trembled, the hooves of black horses thundered like war drums. Hades' chariot burst from the depths, light shattered, color drained. Persephone ran, but there was no path. A scream broke the air, yet no one heard. Hands closed like iron, and her body sank into shadow. Life stopped. Death claimed victory. He seated her on the throne and named her queen. The crown was heavy, silver, and cold. The scepter was silent as stone. Her eyes still carried the sun, but the walls around her held only night. This clash split even the stones of the underworld. Hades had loved order, but now order bore a name. That name was both light and darkness. The architecture of his realm was merciless. Corridors black as obsidian, ceilings wet with dripping stone. Every step echoed, and every echo felt like a count of guilt. Souls moved forward, following their past, never allowed to look back. There were no signs. Judgment set the direction. At each corner, silence waited. Only footsteps remained until footsteps too were swallowed. No fire lit the walls. Eyes learned to see without light. In this kingdom, to learn was to surrender. At the banks of Lethe, souls waited. The river promised forgetting. Some longed for it, calling it mercy. But forgetting meant losing the self. Others clung to memory, though memory burned like a wound. In Hades' realm, both choices were heavy. Here, the punishment was the choice itself. High above, the judges sat. Their words were few, their weight immense. Minos kept his silence. Silence itself a preface to the verdict. Rhadamanthus noticed the smallest cracks. Even light sins found a place on his list. Iacchos held the scales. If balance failed, punishment fell. No pardon was offered. Excuses died at the gate. Goodness was not a tally. A life in full was weighed. In Elysium, the wind whispered soft, but even peace spoke in low tones. In Asphodel, time dissolved. Even footsteps faded. In Tartarus, screams echoed, each echo a wound carved anew. Sisyphus pressed his rock. The rock fell. The lesson never ended. Tantalus leaned to drink. The water receded. Desire became pain. Examples multiplied. The result never changed. There was no escape. Hypnos whispered sleep. Thanatos touched gently. The passage completed. The Erinyes waited in shadows. When they scented injustice, the chains spoke instead of mouths. Justice in the underworld was never quick. It was slow, certain, and deep. Because of that, Hades himself did not speak. He had no need. You did not hear him. You endured the result. Persephone's arrival broke the rhythm of the kingdom. The crown was placed on her head. The scepter lay in her hand. The ceremony was brief. The silence that followed was endless. There were no flowers on the palace steps. The marble was cold, the air unmoving. She walked as queen, but the shadows did not bow. The spirits lowered their heads, yet bowing was no salvation. Hades walked beside her. The distance was close, but the world was far. She looked into the dark, and the dark looked back. In that gaze, the world stopped. On the earth above, nymphs fell silent. Bees did not land. The fields lay empty. The absence of one girl became the silence of a world. Underground, her name echoed. On the surface, a mother became a storm. Two realms, one not. Life itself froze until it was untied. Demeter did not merely mourn. She held the world hostage. She withdrew her bounty. The heavens fell silent. Hunger entered every door. Fires burned, but cauldrons stayed empty. Children cried into barren fields. The earth gave no answer. Smoke thinned from temples. Offerings rotted on the ground. Even the gods stepped back. Life itself hung on her demand. Either she would take her daughter back, or humankind would waste away. A mother's rage outweighed the law of a kingdom. As the world withered, Zeus was cornered. Lightning could not solve this. The wound lay in the blood of gods. On one side, Demeter's grief-made power. On the other, Hades' unshakable order. Neither yielded, neither bent. So Zeus sought compromise. Hermes was sent as messenger. He slipped into the shadows, carrying words of return. Persephone would rise again, but not free of bonds, for Hades had given her pomegranate seeds, and whoever tasted them must return. A fruit, small in form, immense in consequence. The year itself would now be split, half light, half shadow. Spring and summer became reunion. The earth opened, seeds stirred, branches turned green. Autumn and winter became separation. The wind slowed, waters froze, bread grew scarce. Mortals learned this truth. The steps of one girl turned the wheel of seasons. Their bread, their breath, Their very lives swung between reunion and loss. Time itself circled within the struggle of Hades and Demeter. The agreement saved humanity, but fear became permanent. Hades's shadow never lessened, not in spring, not in summer. For death is never far. It waits in every breath. Some call it terror, some call it justice. In truth, it is both. Reward for some, punishment for others, the end for all. And so the final question is yours. When the door opens, what will you see? Justice or only fear? At the end, every voice, from gods to mortals, from shadows to stars, whispers the same name: Hades.